Hello children, in today's class we are going to study verbs. See, these verbs is for most of the students is the most difficult part in grammar, and I have tried my maximum to make it simple. Please listen to the class. So what is a verb? Verb is a word that describe or specific actions like running, winning and being amazing. So what is a verb? Verb is a word which describes a specific action. Actions like I have given examples here: running, winning and being amazing. So these are actions. And a verb is a word or a combination of words that indicates action or a state of being or condition. A verb is the part of a sentence that tells us what the subject performs. Like, go, be amazing, run as fast as you can. So in these sentences, go, this is a verb. Be amazing, so be is a verb. Run as fast as you can, run is a verb. Win the race, so win here, this word is a verb. Congratulate every participant for putting in the work to compete. So this is a verb. So these bolded words are verbs. Not all verbs refer to literal actions. So not all verbs refer to literal actions. Verbs that refer to feelings or states of being, like to love and to be, are known as non-action verbs. So this is very important, you have to remember. So not all verbs are referred to literal actions. Certain verbs like to love or to be are known as non-action verbs. So conversely, the verbs that do refer to literal actions are known as action verbs. So what is an action verb? An action verb is that which refer to literal actions. And a verb is a word that expresses physical action, mental action and a state of being. So what are the three parts? Three things that a verb can express. A verb can express a physical action, example to swim, to write and to climb. And also a mental action like to think, to guess, to consider. So to think and to guess, all these are mental actions. And also a state of being like to be, to exist, to appear. All these are state of being. And here's the verb, that is to be verb in the different tenses. So these are to be verbs in different tenses. So past tense, present tense and future tense. So verb to be. Subject, that is I was, as a past tense, and I am is actually in present tense. I will be in future tense. And you were past tense, you are in present tense, you will be in future tense. He, she, it. So if the subject is he, she or it, we say he was, that is in past tense, and he is or she is in present tense, or he will be or she will be or it will be in future tense. Similarly, so we are past tense, we were past tense, we are present tense and we will be future tense. And a verb will often be further categorized as one of the following. So these are the other sections or parts of verbs, different types of verbs. First, we will start with this action verb. Second, stative verb, transitive verb, intransitive verb, auxiliary verb, modal verb, phrasal verb, regular and irregular verbs. So now, we'll study all these types one by one. So first one is action verb. So what is this action verb? An action verb expresses an activity that a person or thing can do. So what is action verb? Expresses an activity that a person or thing can do. For example, Tim eats cake. So what is Tim doing? Tim is eating a cake. So Tim, this is in simple tense. Tim eats cake. So eating here is something Tim can do. Okay, Tim eats cake. So eating is something that Tim can do. So what is the definition? Expresses an activity. So what is Tim doing here? Tim is eating a cake. So next example, the bear chased the salmon in the shallow rapids. So here, what is the bear doing? Bear is chasing something. So chasing is something the bear can do. And now compare those verbs with these. Like Tim likes cake. Okay, so this is an action verb with what Tim is doing. Tim is eating. Here, the same person, Tim. Tim likes cake. So here, to like is not an activity. So eating is an activity. To like is not an activity. It's a state. So the bear is hungry. So to be is not an activity. It's a state. So the bear being hungry is not an activity. It is a state. So these two examples are called stative verbs. So a stative verb expresses a state rather than an action. A stative verb typically relates to a state of being, a thought or an emotion. For example, I am at home. So I am at home is not an action. It expresses a state. Okay, so I am at home. She believes in fairies. So believe, the word believe, believes is not an activity. So it's a state. So she believes in fairies. He feels elated. Next, third type is transitive verb. So a transitive verb is one that acts on something. That is, it has a direct object. So this is the clue. Transitive verb carries an object. It has a direct object. So a transitive verb is one that acts on something. That is, it has a direct object. For example, I saw the dog. So listen carefully. I saw the dog. Here, the direct object is the dog. So which is the direct object here? The dog is the direct object. See the next example. Tim ate the pie. Tim ate the pie. Here, the direct object is the pie. Okay, in the first example, the dog is the direct object. And in the second example, the pie is the direct object. The postman will give Sarah the letter. So here, the direct object is the letter. Okay, so note, the direct object of a transitive verb can be found by finding the verb and asking what. Okay, so how can you find out the direct object? The clue is, it can be found by finding the verb. So which is the verb here? The first sentence, I saw the dog. So you can see this saw is the verb. So you can ask what. You can raise this question. Saw what? I saw the dog. So I saw what? The answer is the dog. So when you get the answer for the question, what answer that you get for the question? Saw what? That is direct object. So the direct object of the transitive verb can be found by finding the verb and asking what. For example, saw what? So I saw what? The answer, the dog. So the dog is direct object. Tim ate the pie. So Tim ate what? Tim ate what? The pie. So the pie is the direct object. Next example, the postman will give Sarah the letter. Will give what? Will give Sarah what? What is the answer? So the answer is the letter. So here the letter is the direct object. So what is a transitive verb? A transitive verb is one that acts on something. That is, it has a direct object. So now let us see what is intransitive verb. See, an intransitive verb is one that does not act on something. What is transitive verb? Transitive verb is one that acts on something. That is, it has a direct object. And an intransitive verb is one that does not act on something. That is, there is no direct object. Very simple. For example, the rain fell. My throat hurts. The cat sneezed. So fell, hurts and sneezed are intransitive verb. So intransitive verb has no direct object. Next is auxiliary verb. See, an auxiliary verb, or sometimes we used to say helping verb. Okay, auxiliary verb or helping verb accompanies a main verb to help express tense, voice or mood. So auxiliary verbs are otherwise known as helping verbs and are used along with the main verb to help express tense, voice or mood. So the most auxiliary verbs are be, do, and have in their various forms. So these are the most common auxiliary verbs. What are they? Be, do, and have. And I have given few examples. Tim has eaten all the pies. Here the auxiliary verb has helps to express the tense. So Tim has eaten all the pies. Okay, it's present participle. And the table has been prepared. So here the auxiliary verbs has been. This word has been helps to express voice. That is, in this case, the passive voice. Okay, the table has been prepared. So we have already seen here, it accompanies a main verb to help or express tense, voice, or mood. So here tense is expressed. Tim has eaten all the pie. And in the second example, the table has been prepared. Voice is expressed. That is, this is passive voice. And in the third, mood. Okay. If he were to arrive in the next 10 minutes, he would be on schedule. So here the auxiliary verbs were and would. Okay, this were and would help to express mood. So in this case, the subjunctive mood. Next is modal verbs. See, a modal verb is a type of auxiliary verb used to express ideas such as ability, possibility, permission, and obligation. The modal auxiliary verbs are, some of the verbs I have listed here: can, could, may, might, must, ought to, shall, should, will, and would. And examples, we'll see one by one. Tim can eat a lot of pies. So here the modal verb can helps to express the idea of ability. Okay, ability, possibility, permission, and obligation. So here it expresses Tim can eat. So this word can expresses the idea of ability. And see the next example. Tim might eat that pie before he gets home. So this word might expresses the idea of possibility. He might. Okay, not sure. So he might eat. So it expresses the idea of possibility. Next example. Tim may eat as many pies as he likes. So this modal verb may here helps to express the idea of permission. Okay, he may. It helps to express the idea of permission. And next example, Tim should give you some of that pie given you you bought it. So here the modal verb should helps to express the idea of obligation. He should give you. So this should expresses the idea of obligation. So auxiliary modal verb is a type of auxiliary verb used to express ideas like ability, possibility, permission, and obligation. So next is phrasal verbs. So a phrasal verb is a verb that made up of more than one word, usually two words. So a phrasal verb has a main verb and another word, either a preposition or a particle. So the phrasal verb usually has a meaning different to the main verb. For example, a burglar will often break a window to break in. See, a burglar will often break a window to break in. So here, the phrasal verb break in means to enter. So what is the meaning here? To enter illegally. So which is different to break. Okay. So a burglar will often break a window to break in. So what is the meaning here? Break in is to enter illegally into someone's house. And next example, if you drop the baton, the team will drop back to last place. So here the phrasal verb drop back means to fall behind. So if you plan to quit, so your team will drop back means your team will fall behind. Okay, that is the meaning here. And this is regular and irregular verbs. So regular is one that forms its simple past tense and its past participle by adding ed or d to the base form of the verb. So example, love, ed is added and has base form is has loved. Move, moved, has moved. And an irregular verb is one that does not conform to this ruling. For example, tell, told, has told. Bleed, bled, that is simple plus past tense, and has bled is past participle. So these are regular and irregular verbs. So a regular verb is one that forms its simple past tense and its past participle by adding ed or d. So here